But let's explain the put side too. So let's say you like the idea. Ultimately, this is going to be explaining the wheel. We've gone over the calls, the selling the call, the covered part. Now let's talk about selling puts, and you'll know. And I'll get to you'll understand why it's wheel here in a second. So if somebody buys a put, they obviously think it's going down, right? Puts mean red, it's headed south. So they're going to buy the $10 put. I think Alex is in the $10 puts right now because he thinks Ford's going south. Now he drives a Chevy. He's going to lose a lot of money, but he's used to that, right? It's a Chevy. They don't even make it to the street before a part breaks. Anyway, he thinks it's going south. So at $10 below that, he paid for a contract. He says, "Hey, I want to go short shares at $10. Send it." So all of a sudden he'll be up. You almost have to invert the chart because the put side just gets. I see why it confuses people. So Ford goes out to 950. He's short shares at 10. He's instantly in the profit, right? 50 cents per share. But what we do on this one, or what a lot of people will do, is you sell the put. So like I would sell the $10 put to Alex right now. He thinks, hey, it's going down. I'm thinking, hey, I'm all about this. It's coming into a zone. You get as many of those as you want. I'll make sure it fills. So he buys it from me. So I sell him the contract. Now it's going to tie up $1,000 in the account. I'm going to collect 10, 15 bucks from him. And so when I sell this, I'm going to collect 10, 15 bucks from him. Now if Ford goes below 10, the shares are going to get put to me. So I'm going to own 100 shares now at $10. Technically a little bit less because let's say he paid $10 for the contract. I collected 10 cents per share on that. So my average cost while I sold the $10 strike is actually $9.90. So if I'm all in this thing, $990, and I have 100 shares at $10. So the whole wheel strategy is you sell puts and you sell puts. You try to avoid assignment. Let's say you think Ford's going to 10.15, that's the lowest, so you sell the $10 strike put. It expires worthless. You do that next week, you do that next week, and you just keep doing it. Sometimes this happens, right? It gets bad. You're not going to get it right every time. So you sell the 11 strike, it tanks. You now own them at $11 a share. So now that you own those shares, you now have the covered portion set for the call side. So you sell shares, you collect premium, you collect premium, you collect premium on the put side. You finally get assigned, and now you're selling calls over and over again until that gets assigned. And then you start over again, and that's just the wheel, just round and round. Like the little song that the kids sing, right? The wheels on the bus, they go round and round. If it's a Ford. If it's a Chevy, they just fall off the side. I think that's the lyrics. The wheels on the Chevy fall right off or fall to the side. It's been a while since I've sung that song. Lori says, I like the wheel a lot. Yeah, me too. So outside of running the wheel, let's just say, hey, I'm going to buy more Ford. I've told you guys, I'm going to buy more Ford at $8.50. Now, I can buy more Ford at $8.50. I can have a limit order right there at $8.50. Or I could sell all of the $8.50 strike puts. Someone's going to pay me for those. And if it goes down there and it gets below, I'll own it at $8.50. I was going to do it anyway, except now I made more money to do it. Key point, do not sell a ticker unless you're comfortable owning that ticker. Yes, do not sell a put. The shares will get put to you. You still need to have an exit strategy. Let's say you sold the $12 the $12 puts on Ford, and now you're panicking. You're thinking Ford might go to $8.50. I can't afford that. That all needs to be answered before you ever sell that put in the first place. What's worst case scenario? You get assigned. Okay. Now what happens if that thing can just to slow it down, what happens when you get assigned? It went down further than you thought, right? Not the best scenario. You're already in some water. You're like, all right, hopefully this is just ankle deep water and we're going to get this thing fixed. But crap happens. Sometimes it continues to sell off. So AMC, I've done AMC quite a bit the last year, even in the growth account. Just because the premiums were up, it kind of just sucks you into that. The premiums are up because of that exact reason. You got to pay to play, and they know that. So you got to have an exit strategy. If I'm going to go ahead and play this game, I'm going to entertain this idea. But once it gets to here, I'm stopping out. I collected some premium. I took the trade. It sucked, Got out of it. Ford lets you get almost a share a week in premium, which is a 50% return on your risk per year. Great return. That's how my Ford position has snowballed so much. It does start off slow, but once you're doing multiple contracts, you're just buying an extra 100 shares. Then just adding another one on. It really can snowball. But right now, why I'm done explaining on YouTube, right here it's sideways, but what a lot of people will show you is, well, that's trending down. Now we're going to start talking about the trending down. Your shares are still going down. If I were to sell them right now, yes, it's going to be an L because we just got assigned at $11. I have no intentions of selling these. I'm going to keep these as my home and collect rent on them over and over. There's weeks I won't be able to because it'll be too cheap. It's just not worth it. Then there's weeks it's going to be amazing. But hopefully we cleared that up.